Now that you know who you're becoming, you know what you're calling in, we want to talk about energetics and why is it that your space no longer aligns with that version of your past self. Everything within your home holds memory, it holds story. It's like an energetic timeline. Everything that exists has its own vibration, it has its own memory, it has its own aura. So when you begin to think about it in this sense, it's like if you knew that the vibration wasn't expanding you, would you bring it into your home? Or would you maybe make another choice? I'm Danni Sinclair. I am a holistic interior designer, and I look at the energetics as well as the aesthetics in order to help you bring more peace into both your home and your body. Because these objects hold their own vibration and it is expanding not only within the item itself, but it expands even wider than. You know, we all have our own energetic auras, and plants also have large auras. You know, living, breathing things have large auras, but dead things have auras too. And it can be magnified depending on the energy that was connected to it when it was brought into your space. And I see this a lot with a piece of art. This happens a lot with art. So I will often go into clients' homes, and then, you know, we're at the decluttering stage and we're walking through and omitting things. And there's always some art that they have that is tied to a past relationship, a past partner, a previous relationship where they like the art, it works with their space, maybe their partner even lived with them, and so a lot of the things in the home have been bought together, but they have no communication with this person anymore. Block them on socials, like it's not a friendly dynamic.
You're still harboring some things emotionally for that person, which is transmitting into that art.
Absolutely. And so the frequency of that piece of art, which has its own frequency anyway, because somebody created the art and it was purchased in love and it was purchased in compassion, but since then the energy has changed, the dynamic has changed. And so by you holding on to sentimental items from people who have negative influence in your life or emotional ties that you no longer want to have, or it doesn't even have to be negative, just a relation that has run its course. You know, it might not be good or bad or either way, it's over. It's part of your past life. It's not part of the person who you're becoming. And so every time you look at it or don't look at it or subconsciously you are connecting to that piece of art, and you're staying connected to them. And it's actually acting as an energetic drain. It's like negative energy versus filling you with more love. Is actually draining your energy with all of the negative emotions that we don't want. It's really important to think about what we have in our space, and is that really nourishing you, or is it actually draining you instead? And so definitely try to remove anything that is tied to a previous relationship. There's always something lingering in your mind when you see it, but our programming and everything is to suppress and not be too much, or hold on to things for whatever reason that we don't want to get rid of it. And your body gives you these signals before your mind has a chance to catch up, but everything in your home is sending you subconscious signals about your beliefs and about your power and about your worth. And so having something like a piece of art or a piano is actually subconsciously draining this energy from your mind. My second question for you is, if you think about your own home, your own space, your own office, is there something that you might be holding on to that no longer reflects the version that you want to become?
Oh yeah, I'm a hoarder.
Oh yeah?
I hold on to things that just like, oh, this meant a lot to me when I was 10 years old. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep this cup. It's like, you
Yeah.
don't have to keep that cup. It's worn down, it's chipped. But because I loved it when I was 10 years old, I'm like, I can't get rid of this.
Right.
I have a lot of items like that.
Yeah. And it's hard too when it comes to things from our childhood, because that's a time of like innocence and coming into ourselves, especially. But again, it's like, what is the emotion that's attached to that? Because I'm sure there's something that you could bring in that could serve you in the future that can still bring in that emotion without hanging on to something like a cup. Now, in terms of collections, like, are you proud of it? Is it something that you want to share? And is it like a hobby? Things that are hobbies, I'm all for keeping. But if it's something that you find hard to let go of, there's always something hidden beneath the surface as far as what is that. And so it's just really just take some time with it. And so when you see these items, just pause and reflect and ask yourself, what is it? What am I feeling right now? Get really curious. Like, I wouldn't even say what am I holding on to, but just really get curious about the feeling that you have in your body and what is coming up for you emotionally. For me, when it comes to my clutter, it's like I'm not a really sentimental person. I don't hold on to a lot of trinkets, but when I see things that are accumulating, it's me telling myself I don't have time to do it. And so I'm just pushing things off for another time. But then we know that it snowballs. Exactly. And then I'm having to actually like have a whole 8-hour decluttering day of getting everything beneath the surface. So that's signaling to me I need to slow down, I need to pause, I need to take a break, I need to tap in with self. Because usually if I'm not tending to my clutter, if I'm not tending to my home in that way, that means I'm not tending to myself. It's really, really about getting clear, practicing awareness, being mindful. That awareness part, what is coming up for me? And, it might be something small, it might be something that's not so small, but having meaningful things in our spaces is, we're emotional beings. We want to have this sense of connection, but I often think to myself, is this something that I want? Is this something that my future self needs in 5 years? And that usually makes it really easy for me to let it go. But if you do have like a collection of goods that you have from childhood, maybe keep a small collection of your favorite things. And when you become more aware of what the feeling that's attached to it, you don't have to keep so many of them. You might be able to keep just 2 or 3 pieces of the same emotion that's tied to them. And then you can create a cute little area to display them instead of holding on to so much of it. Because I'm sure that, there's a lot of beautiful emotions there, but especially when you have kids, because the kids, they just hold on to everything. And that's another thing. Like, when you have kids, you have to give yourself more grace, because they are coming into this world and they are experiencing their lives on their level, and they don't care about mess, and they don't care about your sofa, they don't care about your rug, they don't care about anything.
No,
they don't care. They don't care about nothing. And they're just experiencing their lives. And it's important that we allow them to do that and to create casual, comfortable homes that allow them to be free and express themselves with limits and boundaries and having a certain structure around what goes where and clean up and all that. But a lot of times it's like you just gotta let the mess be the mess. That's something that I've had to learn, to surrender into the mess and just let them be kids.